Today is the solemnity of the Holy Family, the Holy Family of Nazareth, the family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. The Church presents this family for us to reflect on their life as a model of how our families should be. Christmas is a time of family gatherings. Many families always come together at this time to celebrate one another, to celebrate the joy, to share in the joy of the incarnation, the joy of Christmas with one another. People who have not seen themselves for a long time, for weeks, months, even years, strive to come because of the bond that this season brings. Maybe that is why the Church has given us the Holy Family at this time to celebrate, so that we can reflect on the mysteries they shared and use that also to live our own lives and to chart the way forward for our own families. It was Pope Benedict XVI, God rest his soul, that said, "The family is a privileged setting where every person learns to give and receive love. It is an intermediate institution between the individuals and the society, and nothing can completely take its place. It is a school which enables men and women grow to full measure of their humanity. A privileged setting where everyone learns to love and to be loved." And we see this in the family presented to us, in the life of Jesus, in the life of Mary, in the life of Joseph. The parents schooling this child, teaching him what it means to be human, to love, to be respectful, and also teaching him the family traditions. As we heard in the gospel, going for the Passover, that was the tradition of the family. Nowadays, many families don't bother about the traditions, introducing their children into the tradition in which they themselves were groomed, the tradition in which they grew up, the tradition of prayer, appreciating the sacraments, and participating fully and consciously and actively in the church activities. Many families have lost this. And this becomes a challenge for us to make conscious effort to introduce our families, our children, to that which has helped us, and to hold on to the tradition that we ourselves have also learned as Catholics, as Christians, as individuals, as human beings. In the opening prayer, we are reminded, we prayed, we asked for grace in practicing the virtues of family in the bonds of charity. We may ask ourselves, what are these virtues? The first of it is the virtue of love. Love is what brings the man and the woman together. Love is what unites them, the foundation of the family. And where there is love, they will be able to overcome whatever may come. And even the presence of children is an outcome of that love, expressed in the conjugal union of the man and his wife. The same love guides the parents to responsibly train the children, to responsibly take care of the children that God has given them. And training is not just academically. There's an integral formation of the individual, of the person. The physical growth, the spiritual growth, the academic or intellectual growth, the emotional growth, the psychological growth. This is the only time when we have done this, we say, oh yes, I have trained my child. Presenting them and then training them that they may become a source of joy, not just to the family, but to the entire society. Living and upholding the values of life, the values and traditions that you have inculcated into them. A bond of love. The love does not mean that there are no challenges. No, but where there is love, we'll be able to carry on, hold forth in faith. We'll be able to persevere. Every other virtue that we talk about comes under that. The virtue of acceptance, accepting one another and accepting the children that God has given, accepting the differences, tolerating those differences, the weaknesses, the frailty, the vulnerability of each person. And in that, holding on to the strength, and you'll be able by doing that to make them grow and to be transformed. And those weaknesses will dissipate. So love, acceptance, tolerance. Forgiveness is also one of the virtues that we must practice in the bond of love. Letting go of the hurts done to us, not holding on to what divides us, but what keeps us together. The bond that we share. The family bond. Patience. Being patient with one another in our different struggles to grow. We may have come from the same family, but our capabilities are different. And our growth rates are different. And we must not compare. Sometimes you get parents comparing their children. You are destroying them by doing that. Acknowledge their difference and then support them in their growth. And through that, they will grow. Let us accept them. Let us be patient with them. And also the virtue of sacrifice. Making sacrifice in everything. Sometimes this destroys the family institution. Nobody's ready to make sacrifice. We are always quick to dismiss the other person, to blame. Let us look at the Holy Family. The experience of Joseph and Mary. At that time that Joseph discovered that Mary was with child, that he knew nothing about, what did he do? In love, he was able to accommodate Mary, to dismiss her privately without disgracing her. In our world today, the first thing he may have done, or many people will do, is to go to the social media, to publicize it, to throw the woman under the bus. But that is not what Joseph did. And even when he was told this child is of the Holy Spirit, he accepted. He didn't question. He didn't doubt. He trusted God and trusted Mary. And this is what we are called to imitate. And even the sacrifice, the greatest sacrifice was when the child was born. All the mysteries in the life of Jesus, like the one we heard today. The child was lost for 3 days. They didn't go and start blaming one another. They accepted the situation and in faith sought him diligently until they found him. Joseph did not blame Mary. Mary did not blame Joseph, as many of us do. In the society where I come from, when a son is doing well, the man claims, that's my son. But when the child is not doing well, the son says, oh, it tells the wife, that's that son of yours. And even if he said the girl that is not doing well, it becomes, he didn't train these people well. He didn't train these children well. Let us acknowledge the responsibility that this is a mutual responsibility to train these children that God has gifted you with, to love one another as husband and wife. And let that reflect in the love you show to the children. The Holy Family had their own challenges. Not seeing a place to give birth. The demand to take the child and the mother away. The pain of running away with that little child, that babe. But that also shows us that it's not every fight that we stand to fight. If God made man, if God could tell Joseph, take my own son and move, then that shows us that in humility we can let go of things, not going to fight it. So the church presents us, this family. They experience everything we experience today in our society, the vulnerability of poor people, the exile of immigrants, the homelessness of those who have no homes. Yet they trusted God. They remained faithful in discharging the role that God gave to them. All of us, parents and children, have our own role, our own responsibility in our own respective families. Let us identify those roles and let us be faithful to living out and carrying out those roles, those responsibilities as a way of working for the good of our families, individual families, and our family as a general place, the society as a family, the church as a family. And may the intercession of Mary and Joseph and the love of God, of Jesus Christ, the Son of Mary and Joseph, guide us as we struggle, as we make effort, sincere and conscious effort to live out these charities, these virtues of the family presented to us today.